Hello students, welcome to the session of remote sensing and GIS. We are going to discuss today a very important topic which is known as time series maps and the uniqueness of GIS. Now before going to further, I would like to say here what is time series map and why it is important. If you want to do any historical analysis for the future or what has taken place in the past is need to be analyzed before using this technology. That is why time series maps are very important. So, before going further, time series maps will help us to do the future modeling or future prediction of the situation. And that is why time series maps are very important. As we have discussed the resolutions, the temporal resolution is very helpful when we want to do any analysis. And that is why the time series maps are very important to understand. And GIS has some historical and uniqueness of its own self. Why GIS is helpful, what is the reason behind it is very important to understand in the field of civil engineering because it helps us to gain the real time data. Now, before going further, the very first map which you can see here is the map of the cases of COVID which has arrived. This is of the last year, the initial time that how in the city of Ahmedabad the cases have spread. Now, look into it, you can make it out that what it is. Before going further, you all have been gone through that in the paper, in the newspaper, they are giving us the names and the location where are the active cases. And that has been mapped on this Google Maps and also some applications that is I would like to call here that is Arogya Setu application that is very helpful to know the active cases, right? So it is a basically example of time series. You can make it out where are the active cases and it is important to know. Now, this is a pandemic situation. With this reference only, we can make the strategies for the upcoming if any pandemic will affect to our country or to our nation or to our world, right? Now look to the next map which is shown here is basically a time series which I have shown. You can see with the date it is changing the situation, it is changing the concentration of each and every. It is a sea ice index map. So it is basically a ice index what I have shown here. You can see here that how in the month of January, February, April, May with the colors, the frequencies of the cases, the ice is changing. So this is how it is shown here, which is known as time series map. And this is all made with the help of GIS. It is very easy to make, but remember student, whenever you want to work in GIS environment, the very important thing required is the proper data to input in our software. So data preparation should be very well done. No error should be there. And then we can work and apply each and every tool of GIS into our data. Now you can also see the very next thing that what is technically GIS does, right? So see here, you can see geographical information system. And the very main definition is what? It has a capability of storing, displaying, integrating, but all with the reference of Earth because we have special reference to Earth. This is normally considered to involve spatially referenced computer database and software. So this purely works on the software and the database what we have. I guess you are now clear with what is the word meaning database. As I have previously also said, database means the data what you are preparing to be input in the GIS. If it is proper, if all the informations are there, then only we can work in the environment of GIS. Now, when I talk geographic, which is basically leads to latitudes and longitudes, implies that location of the data items are known or can be calculated in the geographic coordinate. Similarly, you say information, the word data in GIS are organized to yield useful knowledge, often as a colorful maps. So we need to have some information out of it. We have gathered the data, now we need to have the information out of it. See to the image what I have shown here on the very right hand side of your corner, the moving image, you can see that how is map shown. The points you can see, the lines you can see, that is the database what I have input into it. And then you can see the final output is the map, right? So this is how it works on. So this is the database which we have prepared, and then the final output are the maps, right? Even we also have the query solutions towards it. If I have any query, if I have a huge data and I want to find out some analysis, I need to run the query on it, right? So it is a query analysis. We will see in detail also what is query, right? So from the specific data, if I want particular information, then I can get it in the GIS, right? For example, before going into the detail, I would like to give you here a simple example. I have a data, means I have a database and the sheet that considered the names of students, right? For example, with the enrollment is a unique one, right? It cannot be repeated of any student. So I have a data of enrollment, name of student, right? And who have passed and failed. So what will I do? I want to run a query. I will say the software GIS that bring out the names of the students who have passed, who have cleared. This is my query. Bring out the name of the students who have passed. This is my query. When I apply it and enter, it will show me on the map that these are the students who have passed, right? But again, it is a question that I am telling that which students are passed. But yes, student, remember here, I have here the latitude and longitude data itself. So each and every student's latitude and longitude data means the location data I already have. And then I can do this type of analysis. So it's a very simple thing which is known as query. So we will also discuss in detail, but I guess you are clear with it. What is query basically, right? And the last is system, various interrelated and linked component with different functions, capability of analysis, transformation, query, modeling, and output. So this software can give you numbers of analysis, and this is how it is helpful to do the analysis part. So, geographic information system, I guess you are very clear with what is time series map and how it technically works on, right? This is very important to have the knowledge that how GIS works on. Now, the important question comes that how GIS is unique. What is the historical background of it? This technology is basically developed on the basis of AutoCAD and the digital cartography. Now, here the word digital cartography is introduced. So, what is cartography first of all? Let me tell you that. Cartography is basically a science to make the maps. So, in the previous sessions also, I have shown you the maps which were made in the earlier days. People don't know about this technology and they were making the maps. So, they were making and marking the points, they were drawing something so you can make it out after years also that what does this paper, this symbol indicates, right? So, this is how. Now, uniqueness is developed only by when you have the particular and very accurate data, right? So this technology is basically working on the thing that is digital cartography. Cartography is science of making maps and analysis, and from that we have derived the software which is known as geographical information system, and we have started making maps in it, right? And the very next thing which is very important is the database management system. You should be having a proper database management system. Then only it will helpful to you when you want to do any real time analysis. Understand the meaning of real time analysis. I have fitted all the data and now I want to see the data and do the analysis, that is called real time analysis. Right? Remember, in math, whenever I work, it handles spatial information. Spatial, it is not spatial, it is spatial information which is related to the earth, located on the earth, right? That is known as spatial. It makes the connection between activities and the proximity, means the spatial data and the non-spatial data. It will make the connectivity between it, right? So real world have lots of spatial data and earth surface is limited resource, fast decision making is very much required. Earth right now is suffering with the renewable resources. We don't have much of the resources and we are into the limitation of resources. So fast decision making system is very much required. Otherwise, we will not able to survive in near future. And you all know about the system. If I say for the water or the food, right, or any other energy, electrical energy or electricity, everything requires a fast decision and make out students that each and every sector this technology is being used because each and every field is related to the earth, it is on the earth, so spatial reference is very important. And when we talk about the spatial reference student, this is the important part. Now the question arises of how to manage the data, which is very important to understand because in GIS you should be having the unique field also. You should be having the accurate data also. It should not overlap. It should not be having any error in the data. Otherwise, it will not show us the accurate assessment and analysis of the tools what we are using in GIS, right? So for managing the data, and it should be the lifelong data. It is not like that right now we have made and it is gone and then we have to make it again. No. The data in the local governing body, the data for the research and analysis of defense, the data what we are using it for the corporation systems, municipalities, right? It should be one time. And you can always update that. But you cannot make it again and again, right? So you all know that it should be very accurate. Now, before going into the details, students, for the accuracy of data, here we are using one software which is known as Database Management System, which is called as DBMS, right? So, what is DBMS? Basically, it is Database Management System. Now, you all have heard Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. There similarly, it is Microsoft Access, and the data can be prepared into it. So there is no mistake, no overlapping of data, no error in data. If these three things are followed, then only you can say that GIS is unique and it has a good historical background which has updated to today's technological world. Otherwise, it is of no use and you cannot do any analysis using this technology. I guess you are clear with it that what type of information, how is data made, what can be done, what is the historical background. We will also discuss in detail that how we input data, what we input data and how we prepare our data to work in GIS environment. I guess you are clear with this what is time series map and which are the parameters for the GIS to be always a unique. Thank you.